Method for analysis of circuits is being discussed. Previously, we have gone through the circuit elements and the topology, where we discussed the concept of branch, node, and the loop. We have gone through the network laws, where say the KCL, KVL, and Ohm's law. We have also discussed the nodal method of analysis, where the node voltages are taken as a variable instead of the branch current or branch voltages. On the analogous line, this particular method is also directed to minimize the computational effort, to have a focused approach, and the method can be implemented on computer. So with these particular objectives, we are discussing the mass current method. So on the analogous line of the nodal method, this particular is an application of the KVL. It deals with the mass current as variable instead of the branch current. So this particular is a distinction from the KCL, KVL, or you can say the nodal method. As a network topology, we discuss the number of independent loop equations are equal to the number of branches minus number of nodes minus 1. Both the loop and the mesh, they refers to a closed path. So first the question arises, what is the closed path? So closed path is nothing but when say it is started with a node, traverse through element by element without crossing any of the element more than once, and then returning back to the same starting node. So that particular you can say completing a closed path or completing a circle likewise. Now both the loop and mesh refers to this particular closed path, but there is a difference. So now this difference has to be understood first. So this particular is explained with the help of a simple diagram which is having a labeled A, B, C, D marking, just to suggest the path, movement, and so on. So let us take the L1 path, where say it is A, B, D, A. It is going A, B, D, then A. So that is the L1 is completed. L2 is B, C, D, B, and third particular L3. So this is A, B, C, then D, then A. So all these three are the closed paths, all three are the loops, but L1 and L2 are the meshes. So you can say the mesh is a loop that does not contain other smaller loops inside. If we are considering L3, then that particular is containing L1 and L2 inside it. So that's why the L3 is a loop, that is not a mesh. Now we have also defined the network topological parameters. So L is the number of independent loops, that particular is equal to the number of branches minus number of nodes minus 1. We have defined the branch as a circuit element and the node as an interconnection of two or more than two elements. So on that particular hypothesis, it is suggesting 5 elements, 4 nodes, and the number of independent loops are coming out to be 2. However, if we are looking to the interconnection like this, where say they are connected in series, so the current is common. This particular is another arrangement where the current is common. So it is imperative that for the series connected elements, we can consider them as one branch. So that particular is reducing the number of branches to the 3. Consequently, the number of nodes are also reduced to the 2. However, the number of independent loops are coming out to be same 2. So these number of independent loops are basically resulting to the number of independent loop equations needed to solve this particular circuits, and the number of meshes are exactly equal to the number of independent loop equations. Now here we have to orient the circuit element current with corresponding to the mass current. So these particular mass currents are directed like I1 and I2. This is an element. So here say the element current will be exactly equal to I1. However, if suppose we are looking to this common element, we have to first define the direction. So if suppose say we are orienting likewise in the direction of I1, in this circuit element the current will be flowing from top to bottom, and that particular is suggesting the value IR3 is equal to I1 minus I2. So when say the current is directed from top, the voltage as per the Ohm's law will be VR3 with the upper terminal positive, lower terminal negative. However, if suppose we are oriented likewise in the direction of I2, so the net current through this element will be I2 minus I1, and consequently the bottom terminal will be positive, upper terminal will be negative. So there is no distinction, difficulty as such. We can orient as per in the direction of mass and can find out the voltages or the current through the circuit elements likewise. So this particular method, it is based on the mass currents, and these particular mass currents are not the actual elements current. That particular has been highlighted previously. There has to be orientation, so I am requesting that they all be oriented clockwise, otherwise the method is general. So we can, if suppose some are oriented clockwise and some are oriented counterclockwise, the analysis can be done, but that particular will be a restriction as far as the implementation on the computers are concerned. Corresponding to each, we have to write the KVL equation with the mass currents as variables. Now depending on the number of masses, the number of equations are resulted, and that we will be solving to find out the unknown mass currents. Once say the mass currents are known, we can find out the element currents and the voltages likewise. Now this particular is basically the method and application of the KVL. So the KVL works well with the voltage sources. So initially we will be analyzing the circuit with the voltage sources. However, the method is general, and it will be extended further to include the current sources as well. So this particular, you can say, circuit which is having the three masses. So I1, I2, I3, these particular are the currents, and we will be writing the KVL equations. So what is the general procedure? You have to orient around a mass. So this particular is experiencing a voltage rise, so that is minus VA. This will be a voltage drop when the current is directed likewise from left to right. So that particular drop will be I1 minus I3 into R1. Then there will be a drop, and that drop will be R3 into I1 minus I2. So that particular is giving you the relationship of the KVL. Now these particular terms are rearranged such that we will be having, say, the separate mass currents variables likewise, and there will be a multiplier factor. So on this basis we will be writing the KVL equation around mass 2 as well. Now in this, the point which is to be noted here, say in the mass 1 this is a voltage rise. If suppose you are orienting in this way, it is a voltage drop because the current will be entering to the positive terminal here. So there should not be any confusion. You can write the KVL equation around the third mass as well. So these particular blue colored equations, they are the rearranged form of the equation. So we can write them into a matrix form, and this particular matrix form is a general arrangement. So each of the equation is represented into one particular row multiplied by this a column vector. This particular matrix form is a general, so it is represented likewise. Now as say the matrix is a two-dimensional arrangement, so that two-dimensional, one particular to the row and another one subscript corresponds to the column. So on that basis we will be defining the individual elements. So Rij, that means the element value for the ith row and the jth column. So I and j are different, that's why it is representing a mutual term, and that mutual term is coming out to be negative of the resistance between ith and the jth mass. So if suppose we are referring to the 1 2, then this particular is the negative of the resistance which is connected between 1 and 2. RII, it is a self term, so it is sum of the resistances around the ith mass. So whatever has been encountered in that particular ith mass, that particular is written. Ij, that is the jth mass current, no point. Now point which is to be understood, the Vj, it is the net voltage rise around the jth mass. So as mentioned that in the previous example, this was a voltage rise Va. Here say in the second it was a voltage drop. This particular will be more clear when say we will be considering the examples. So this is, you can say, the same similar circuit where say the numerical values are added. Likewise, corresponding to this first, this is resulting into -3 plus 2 into I1 minus I3 plus 4 I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. This is rearranged into the form like this. On the similar basis, we can write the other equations as well. And once these particular equations are solved by any of the method, we will be able to get the final results. Now the beauty of arranging this particular into the matrix form is replicated here. So as say it is having 3 masses, so it will be resulting into a 3 by 3 matrix. R11, that is the first element, so sum of the resistances around the mass 1, so 2 plus 4, that is by inspection we can write. R12, that is the negative of the resistance between the first and the second mass, so 4 minus 4. On this line we will be able to make a complete arrangement. Now on this particular right hand side, this is experiencing a voltage rise, so this is voltage rise. Here say the voltage polarity is this like this, so the mass current is coming out from the positive terminal, that will also be experiencing a voltage rise. So the point here is, in this arrangement, this particular matrix is symmetric, and you can write this particular matrix or the mass equations simply by inspection. However, there is a rider that this particular holds true only when say there are independent sources. Likewise, so correspondingly by the matrix inversion we will be able to get the result. Now this particular method is extended to the circuit where say the dependent voltage sources are also present. Now in this is a controlling current, this is a controlled voltage. Likewise, it is having the 3 masses, and we have to write the equations as such. But the point which is to be remembered, that this I0 controlling current is nothing but I1 minus I3 in this particular case. So you will be writing the equations. Likewise, minus 24 plus 10 I1 minus I3 plus 12 I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. On the similar line, you will be able to write the equation. This is although a controlled or dependent source, but there is nothing to be taken care except we have to relate this particular value with the mass currents. So these are, you can say, 3 KVL equations which we are able to get, and we have rearranged the term into the matrix form. So now the point which is to be remembered with this, that the matrix is not coming out to be symmetric as has been obtained previously, where say only the independent sources were present. So this particular we cannot write by inspection, we have to be a little careful, write the equations, do the manipulation simply by substituting this particular value with the mass currents, likewise, so on. And once say the equations are formed, we can solve it either by Cramer's rule, matrix inversion, likewise. This is another method, another example. So in this Again say the three mass equations are to be formed. So first mass equation, second mass equation, third mass equations likewise. Here say this I0, if this particular is exactly coinciding with the I3, which is the mass current, so that particular is written. Here as well, when these equations are rearranged, the matrix is not symmetric. So this particular care we have to observe that we can write this matrix form simply by inspection only when say the independent sources are there. Now with this background we can conclude or we can summarize something that mass is a loop that does not include any other loop within it. Mass analysis is an application of the KVL. Although the method is general, all masses be oriented clockwise or counterclockwise. We have developed the hypothesis or the discussion when say the masses are oriented clockwise. The mass equations can be written by inspection only for the circuit having no dependent source. Now one more point, that these particular mass currents are not the actual currents which is carried by the elements. However, the beauty that the element currents can be calculated by the mass currents. In the next, we will be dealing the mass analysis with the current sources. For further reading, you can refer these particular textbooks. Thanks.